Let's go. Welcome to episode 73 of the Endless Enjoyment Podcast, y'all. I'm your host, Vincenzo, and today I'm here with, yet again, another music artist out here in Nashville, Tennessee. We have Lillian Grace in the building.
Hi, friends.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you again for letting me come.
Of course, yeah. We've met a few times. I think the first time was at that show Southside did at the Cowan.
Mm-hmm.
And you were doing some filming there.
Yeah, I was filming BTS for that show, so that was really fun. Got to go backstage and be there before the show and see Southside perform, and also see him do all of his rehearsing beforehand. So it was cool.
Yeah, because my buddy Marcus was playing bass with him that night, and Marcus is a part of Tripoli as well, and he's an artist that I manage now and releasing music under my independent label.
Sick.
But he's a cool guy, and that was a fun experience meeting you there. And I'd never been to that venue either, and they had the Top Golf base set up for us. We're hitting balls for free, getting pizza and shit.
Yeah, it was fun as fuck.
Yeah, and then we saw each other again recently at another show at the Vinyl Lounge.
Mm-hmm. Another Southside show.
Yep. Shout out to Southside, he's connecting the people.
Shout out to Southside, yeah.
I've definitely met a handful of characters from that team. Shout out. And then, so then we finally got you on the pod. You hit me up maybe a month ago, and I just had a lot of stuff going on recently. We finally got you here.
Yeah, man. And I've been busy as hell too, because I'm doing a 24-song project this year. So, I'm shooting everything myself, editing everything myself, producing everything myself, writing everything myself. Only thing, yeah. So, and then also trying to, survive in our economy.
Right.
So,
yeah, of course. So, we'll start off with, for those who don't know you, just tell them, the audience, a little bit about yourself.
I'm Lillian Grace, and I'm a singer, songwriter, and producer, and I'm from Houston, Texas. I moved to Nashville about 2 years ago. And I'm also the CEO and founder of Women Who Create Media, which is a photography, videography, and social media management company.
So do you work with other people, or is it just you running everything?
I run everything.
So it's more of your side business for the videography and photography stuff.
Mm-hmm, but I would like to, that's my other passion. It kind of started because when I was 19, I did an audio engineering internship at a studio in Houston, and I was one of maybe 4 women in the studio, and they didn't teach me anything because it was a studio full of hip-hop engineers, and I was a 19-year-old white girl who made alt-pop beats. It just didn't work. But their marketing person saw that I was coming in twice a week to clean toilets and saw the dedication that I had to music as a whole and taught me everything I know about social media management and social media marketing. And so the reason it's called Women Who Create Media is because I would like to be able to provide a place one day for female creatives to come and be taught how to do certain things like audio engineering and music production, as well as photography and videography. But also 65% of female artists get harassed in the studio. And 2% of music producers in the industry are women. So I would like my company to be able to bridge the gap for female creatives in the industry. So that's why I started my company. It's my other passion outside of music and mental health and stuff like that.
Right, you got big goals and big dreams and
yeah, man.
I love it. It's ambitious. That's where I can resonate with that for sure. But so how did you get involved with that? Were you in school in Texas or?
So it's kind of a blur because I got sober in 2021, and then I found this internship somehow while I was still using, and just applied, and I got it, and then I got clean a couple weeks beforehand. So it was more of a trade school where I did do classes online, and then I would come in and I would come to the studio and learn audio engineering. Right. But really, I was just the intern that was cleaning and
doing all the shit work.
Yeah. Yeah, cleaning toilets, like mopping the floors, stuff like that.
Right. That sucks. Because you're there, you wanna learn, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So then what brought you to Nashville? You've been here for 2 years now.
Well, I knew I wanted to come to a big music city, and Houston does have a music scene, but it's more rap and hip hop leaning, and I am more alternative rock, pop leaning. So Nashville was better suited for me than Houston was, and it was also the cheapest out of LA, New York, and Nashville.
Right. Yeah.
So that was kind of the goal, was to come to a big music city and try to grow my career, and it's kind of worked out so far. I mean, I'm not Chapel Roan by any sense of the word, but I have made like really great connections and really great friends who are also musicians that I can relate to, more so than in Houston. Like, I was the music kid in Houston. And all my friends were like psychology majors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what pushed me to coming to Nashville. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just putting my interviewer hat on. I'm locked in.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so you love being in Nashville.
Love it here.
You're working on a lot of different things. You said you're working on a 24-song album that's going to release this year.
It's already been releasing, so it's
Right,
actually...
so it's like the waterfall effect. You're going to drop the songs and then as a collection at the end, or?
They're all singles. So, I mean, I might have a playlist where they're all together. But right now it's just a new single every 2 weeks of the year.
So how many have you dropped so far this year? You've been dropping all year?
Friday will be 6.
Cool.
Yeah. And each song has a different visual concept as well.
Right, so you've been posting a lot of content on Instagram and TikTok, I assume, as well.
Yeah, I post on 3 different platforms. I've been doing it for 3 years now. I also, outside of my music stuff, like, I make content surrounding borderline personality disorder, because it's what I have, and then PTSD, stuff like that. So that way, my brain was thinking, oh, if I post like stuff about this, people will be able to relate to my music if I can build a following around borderline personality disorder or around PTSD. So yeah, I've been making little sketch videos for 3 years now, and I wanted to up my music content skills this year. That was like a big goal of mine, versus, you know, you're just like getting ready and playing your song in the background in your bathroom. Like, I wanted it to have a visual concept and a visual story, because the first half of the project is about my engagement falling apart, and then the second half of the project is about my cousin overdosing. So there's a lot of emotion and a lot of visuals that I wanted to communicate.
Right, you're like telling a story with it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that it's taking a lot of planning. Did you start working on this like last year, or like
Summer
how
of
long?
23. Yeah.
So almost a year and a half at this point.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but things take time. I can relate to that. I mean, this project that I recently put out, I started working on when I started making music in 2018. So it was like my whole career up to this point, like that it took for it to come out. And even then, like the ideas I'm working on now, I know that I'm probably not going to be releasing anytime soon, you know. It takes time and planning, especially if you want to get that like intricate with the visual part of the story as well.
Yeah, man. What are your like are you willing to share your ideas, or is that like
Of course. I
super
mean,
duper secret?
no, I'm an open book. I'm always like foreshadowing what I'm going to be doing in the future, even if it's just like in lyrics and stuff. There are subtle hints to like where I'm going in the future, but yeah, I'm always happy to answer any questions, but it's more about you.
Just trying to keep conversation, man.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what you want to know about my ideas? I got many.
Yeah.
Recently, Marcus has been teaching me how to make beats, so that's one thing that I haven't like made the effort to do in the 7 years I've been rapping, is to start, you know, making some beats for myself to rap on or just write on. And I think it's something like super fun that I've started to pick up lately. And me and Marcus have collabed on some beats, and I've made some of my own, and I'm like really proud of them. And I always thought like that I would not do shit with like the first few beats that I make. Like I'm just gonna have to make shitty beats, but
Yeah.
you know, I think my ears developed to the point where, and it's like all about more like arrangement. It's not like I'm composing melodies and drums and shit myself, but I'm, you know, using Splice and or doing all the arranging myself, which like just even picking that up and having fun with it and making different styles of music too. Like my first beat was like a house beat, and then I made a country rap beat, and then I made like a stoner old school rap kind of boom bap beat. So I've just been having fun with that, and I finished writing my first country song. It's like
Well,
some
you're in Nashville,
shaboozey
yeah.
ass like hip hop, rap, rock, pop rock, country vibe. But
Are you gonna probably stay in that rap direction though when it comes to the stuff that you would like to release in the future?
not really, no.
Okay.
It's just something fun, more aside to do. Maybe I will do a full like Cowboy Chenzo album. I think that'd be fun. But yeah, no. Lately I've been more on like the pop, like EDM wave, like with the like adding like rap with it, like rapping on like super like Trippie Redd-esque beats. I would say like I really fuck with Trippie Redd, and his album Life's a Trip. No, what's it? Trip at Night. That album that came out 2021 was like a huge inspiration. The sound that I'm like going towards, and a few other artists as well. But I released an album called Life is Hype at the end of 2023, and with those kind of vibes. And like the last project I released more of like my stoner chill rap kind of vibes, which I've definitely gonna be doing a lot more of both of those. Like right now, the main focus is on another pop album, Life is Too Hype.
Oh,
Again,
cool.
the sequel. And both of those, yeah. And just working on like miscellaneous shit other than that. But like those are probably my two main things that I'm working on.
What DAW are you using?
Logic.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever use Apple Loops?
Like the ones that are already there in. I've heard they've got some good ones in there, but I've really just been using Splice right now. I haven't really used any of the loops they have in there.
It's how I make all my songs is Apple Loops. So, don't knock them.
Do you play any instruments?
Nope.
So you're doing similar to what I'm doing,
yeah.
we're producing, arranging, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, I call it sample producing.
Yeah.
So.
Which is like, though, with hip hop at least, is like the art of it is too sampling, even though people like to knock on sampling, of course, for like legal reasons as well. But
I mean, if you're using stuff like Splice or you're using Apple Loops
yeah.
that are copyright free,
right, yeah.
you know, then there's really no harm in it. And I mean, I've been doing it my entire career and nobody has seemed to have a problem with it.
Right.
Haters, of course, will be like, this sounds like a YouTube beat or it sounds like, you know, copyright free music or whatever the fuck. But I'm just gonna like, where is your Spotify? Where is like your beats that you've
People
produced?
hating are always some no name, no face person, no post.
Yeah, man. And recently, like back in November after the election, I posted a video about my more liberal views, and so the last, like pretty much since November, I've just been getting floods of hate. It hit like 2.5 million views on Instagram.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like I have these like older conservative men that are like commenting on my music stuff, and they're like, "What rights have you lost as a woman?" And I'm just like, this is a song about a butterfly, man. Like,
get out of here.
Yeah, like you can keep your hate on that video,
Right,
but
we don't
like,
have to carry it over to your whole
life.
Like,
like, why do you care? Like, why are you?
Right, they getting invested into you just from watching that one video.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make.
I mean, when
any
you're
sense.
reaching that many people, there's bound to be some fucking losers.
Yeah.
Bunch.
Yeah, man.
You
It's
just gotta
fucking
feel sorry
dumb.
for them, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, some of them, they like even like sent me death threats over like private message, or one guy. I like to get creative because I'm petty, and so I would go on their page and then find their girlfriends and then be like, "Hey, girly pop, just to let you know, this is what your man commented on my shit." And then one girl even was like, hey, I'm sorry, that was me, and that was totally out of pocket. I don't know why I did that, but I'm really sorry, and I was just using his account, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, thanks for the apology. I appreciate you taking accountability.
Super slow. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, man.
Snapped and became a hater for a moment.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that happens all the time. This like one dude from Memphis, he was like, yeah, if I ever catch you in Memphis, like, you better be on your guard. And I was like, well, I hope you have a good day. You know,
right.
Like, you got to respond with positivity because they don't know how to react when you're positive. And he was like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't even know why I DM'd you. Like, and I was like, I had to explain. I was like, well, I made a video about being liberal and people hate me for it. And he was like, that makes sense.
He didn't remember.
And I was just like, okay, like people
sounds about right.
People just have anger and don't want to go to therapy and take it out on people that they don't know online. So
which is just super sus behavior. It's like yelling at a brick wall, honestly, at that point.
Yeah.
Especially if you just respond with positivity, and that's what I've tried to do lately. I mean, I haven't been posting as much as I would like to this year, but I've been trying to keep the ball rolling. I was like posting every day for the first 2 months, and then just been doing a lot lately. But point being is, I've gotten some hate on TikTok, and I used to kind of have some wise ass comments back to them, but now I just like literally just heart, smile, thank you for the comment, appreciate you for sharing your opinion. Like,
because
you're just helping me reach more people, and you know, if you engage with it, it's just gonna help the algorithm.
Exactly, man. Because every interaction on TikTok has like a point system. I don't know if you knew that. So it's, I think, like share is 3, you get 3 points. If you get a like, it's 1 point. If somebody watches your video all the way through, it's 5. And so that's how TikTok knows, like, oh, this content is doing well.
Points, push it out to more people.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard something like it, but I didn't really understand it until right now.
Yeah, I mean, just like look it up. Like, it's just, there's like a chart, and so it's like the more comments you get, even if you respond to those comments immediately, like that counts as a point and just racked up. Yeah.
Right. So you just always respond, even if it's a negative.
Always, men are like.
Especially if you're not where you want to be at, like you want your content to be as engaged with as possible, you should be
commenting to every single comment.
Right.
Yeah. So even people who are like, turn it off, like turn your music video, like turn the sound off. I'm like, who are your favorite artists? Because if your favorite artists are, you know, Nicki Minaj or Slipknot or whatever, no shit you don't like my music, because I make, you know, like Lana Del Rey, Adele type music, you know?
You're trying to find your audience, and then just random people get caught in it, and they're like, instead of just keep it moving, carry on with their life, they gotta say something about it.
Yeah, but then they see, like, I comment, who's your favorite artist? And then they're like, oh, here's one of my favorite artists. And then I get more points. You know,
right,
it rewards me.
You get them to respond back.
And they keep going, you know?
That's fair, yeah.
So, yeah, man, but I feel like I definitely, with this project, have seen a definite increase in my monthly listeners, because I've, you know, been so focused in on having content shot in 4K and having the different outfits every 2 weeks, and lyric videos do really, really well. If you download CapCut on your computer, there's like auto lyrics, and they have different templates, so it's like each word will pop up as you're singing it, kind of thing. So I can just manipulate those, and those do really, really well, versus if you just posted the same video but it didn't have any words on it.
Right. Yeah, I've been messing around with like the AI captions and stuff. Especially, I would need to bring more podcast clips back. I've been slacking on the clips of the pod, because that's what honestly does better than the actual podcast itself, is the clips of the podcast. So,
Yeah, man.
I got a big to-do list right now. That's what it's like running your own independent business.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe I would hire a couple people that would help me out if I had the funds.
Yeah, man.
To
Maybe
really
be a
get things
sponsor.
moving smoothly. Yeah, if we could get a sponsor for the Endless Enjoyment podcast. We're open.
Yeah.
We're open to it, but yeah. So you've also like been building like a community of your supporters as well. You have like a Discord channel thing that you do, right?
Yeah. So that's the Trauma Royalty server. So the whole I'll get into the podcast, but the whole catalyst for this project is the Trauma Queen. So basically, if you are a person who has struggled with addiction or struggled with your mental health, but you've chosen to heal yourself and love others around you, you are a trauma king.
I definitely have done that.
So
Turn in, your whatever bad experiences you have into something good and being able to share that mindset with others.
exactly. So my Discord is the Trauma Royalty server. So everyone of any, gender orientation can join. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I post daily DBT skills. I don't know if you're familiar with DBT, but it's dialectical behavioral therapy. It's the only, well, I shouldn't say only, but the main treatment for borderline personality disorder. It's kind of just a collection of skills for group communication, emotional regulation, stuff like that. And it's pretty expensive to like see a therapist consistently. But I have a book of skills that I try to post pretty much daily, a different skill for my Discord server to be able to learn and write down, or they can print it out and learn it on their own so they don't have to pay to go to therapy. And then there's like a whole section, like the trauma dump section. So if anybody is struggling anywhere all over the world, they can just come in and immediately get support with whatever they're struggling with.
Right, and you're welcome in that, obviously.
Yeah.
Because some people, it's like you don't want to get caught off guard and just have like someone dump all their trauma on you, but you're just making it welcome. Like, hey, this is where we can go.
Yeah.
To have these conversations if you need it.
Yeah, like, and I mean, it can be jarring, but how I'm trying to change that perspective, because I was always a person that would trauma dump. I've had to learn how to not do that. But people who have gone through immense amounts of trauma are ridiculously strong. And I feel like people should be able to listen to that, like be able to adjust their mentality for like, hey, this person is talking to me and telling me all this stuff. They must really need somebody to listen to them,
Right. And maybe someone too from like outside perspective and that doesn't really know them.
Yeah.
You can just more help them with the situation, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why therapy is good, I think, too, just because I need to go back, but
yeah, man.
I've been, it's expensive to go.
Yeah, dude, I only go once a month currently. I need more, but it's honestly saved my life between borderline and DBT and EMDR therapy for PTSD, because I used to not be able to listen to sirens, gunshots, fireworks, any of that shit, or like I would go back into my traumatic experience, like visually, like the hallucinations were a bitch. But then I went to EMDR therapy, and my therapist would basically be like, play sirens on YouTube, and then time me to see how long it would take before I started getting hallucinations. And then now I can drive down the street. I can hear an ambulance pass by, whatever. And like, I don't freak out. I hardly get hallucinations anymore. It's been like 5 years since my traumatic event. So yeah, man, like therapy is like a huge part of my life. And I always want to push people to like seek out therapy.
Right. It's hard because they gotta want it. I know, like my parents were pushing me when I was really like struggling to go into therapy, and I would always be like, nah, fuck that shit. Like, like don't tell me what to fucking do. And now I'm like, I would love to go to therapy.
Yeah, man. I think there's just a big stigma around it, and that's why, there's a big stigma around therapy. There's a big stigma around borderline, and so that's kind of what I stand for as a whole, is just kind of being able to be there for other people who have gone through traumatic events, and to be able to reward them and make them feel loved and strong and not isolated. Because I think that happens a lot. Like, you know, you come in, you sit down, you talk to a group of people, and you don't know what to say because all you have is trauma. And then people think you're crazy and they don't want to talk to you or be your friend because you have all this like baggage. But you're still worthy of love. You know, you're still worthy of a happy, healthy, fulfilling life despite going through immense amounts of trauma. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing behind Trauma Royalty and my Discord server. And then we do mentally ill movie nights. So it's not like a trauma dump thing all the time. It's
Right.
just like funny names, but you know, we'll like meet up once a month and watch Avengers, like, you know what I mean? And just like have community.
Yeah.
I haven't really been doing them because I've been really busy, but I try to do release parties every 2 weeks for the singles. So that way we can also come together and talk and bullshit and see how everybody's doing. But yeah, that's like the heart of the Discord community, is just a bunch of mentally ill people who are all super loving and caring, and they're just really cool, honestly, and it's one of the most beautiful things that I've ever built. There's about 125 people in the server right now.
That's dope. I mean, if you can impact one person, that's awesome. To impact over 100 is definitely an accomplishment, and I'm sure they're lucky to have you. And if you know that you've impacted one of them,
Yeah, man.
that's a W right there.
Yeah, and even one girl, her birthday was last month, and she wanted to do like shout out Annie. Shout
out, Annie.
Shout out Annie. She wanted to do like a voice call on her birthday, and I was unavailable. So now for her birthday, I'm sending her a tiara, like as a present.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, like we all fucking got each other. We're all fucking trauma queens or kings. You know. And it's just cool. It really is just really beautiful. And like with Favorite Person, which is the single that's currently being promoted, what happens with BPD is it's really just an attachment disorder. So if we have somebody that we trust, whether it be a therapist, a relationship, whatever, they become the center of our identity. Our emotions revolve around them. It's not something that we can really control. It's just we don't have an identity of our own. And so it's called a favorite person. So that's what that whole song is about. And like just today, some girl commented like, I'm really excited for this song to come out because my entire life has just been wrapped around different favorite people, you know, and it's just cool to be able to make music about borderline because nobody's really talking about it. And to kind of end the stigma around it, because people think that we're nuts and crazy and we're really just people who've suffered through a lot of bullshit and deserve love. So yeah, man, it's really beautiful to see. Like, these people have saved my life as much as I might have saved theirs.
Yeah, because you need the community and the connection as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and the understanding, you know, because my emotions...
And you know you're not alone.
Yeah, my emotions, I can wake up wanting to... And then by the end of the day, I feel like a god, you know? There's no in between. It's just constant roller coaster every day. So to be able to go on my server and be like, yo, like, I'm really struggling right now. Like, I'm really depressed. And then friends / fans at this point, they're just like, dude, it's valid that you're feeling that way. Like, it's okay. You know, you've been through a lot of shit. Like, you know, like, it's fine. And then they'll tell me different coping skills. One of them, if you ever have panic attacks or anxiety, is if you take a bucket of ice water and then just dunk your head in it over and over again. It'll automatically calm down your nervous system, and if it doesn't work, you do like 10 jumping jacks. So something about the temperature change in your body will automatically make you calm down. So like shit like that. They'll just be like, hey, practice your skills, dumb bitch. And I'm like, you're right. I need to practice my skills. Yeah, are you the one sharing them?
You dumb bitch. You're like, I love it. You can just be like, thanks, bitch.
Exactly, you know?
You're right, bitch.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. They're like, have you worked out? Have you eaten? I'm like, No, I have not done that. I probably...
Let me go do that.
Yeah, I probably need to go do that before I, like, have a whole blown mental breakdown.
Right, there's many things I feel like we could do every day that we know will make us feel better, but we just don't do them.
Yeah.
And it's like staying consistent with those habits. Like I think that like meditation's been super helpful over the last like few years with my mental health, or even just stretching all the time. But those are things that like I know I should just start every day doing that, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I should and I will. But
it's hard to stay consistent with
right.
those things. So,
but just even if it's just like once a day or once a week, or like I definitely find the time somewhere in there to do it, you know, because I know it's just gonna make me feel better. And you just shouldn't wait to the point where it's like, all right, I need to do it, or I'm, you know, gonna be hurting.
Yeah, I try to meditate before I go to bed every night. I mainly do like radical acceptance, which is. It's a fancy term for understanding that there's a lot of things in the world that you can't control.
Right.
And so I don't know if you get the racing thoughts before you go to bed.
Oh yeah, I'm like, oop, that was a good lyric right there. Let me write that down real quick.
Yeah. And so like I'll just put on like a radical acceptance meditation on YouTube and listen to that for 15 minutes and just focus on the sensations in my body and breathing, and then eventually I'm like, okay, I have peace in my brain again. I'm going to go to sleep now, you know. So, thank you for listening to my therapy talk. It is a lot, and I apologize.
Of course, I mean, yeah, I know. You don't need to apologize, you know. I like just the way you're spreading knowledge, and not that I necessarily need some of it. It's, I mean, I could. Some, but I do. I've done like cold plunges and stuff like that before, and I don't know if that also helps like help you feel better physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah.
I think it's very admirable the community that you've been building, and like just the overall meaning behind it, and so.
Yeah, but cold plunges definitely help with your mental health. Definitely.
Cool. Even just like a few minutes in the shower with just the cold water. That's something I've just tried to like. It's not something you want to do, but I love the hot water. You just turn it cold for a few seconds, and especially if I'm listening to music, I'll just turn it cold on a really good song. Like you just get you distracted from any uncomfortableness that comes with the cold, and eventually I feel like you just embrace it, and you're like, this is nice.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer, it hits different.
Yeah, dude, it feels. Dude, coming from Texas, that was like all I would do is like I come in during the summertime and I would just be like, cold, please, because it's humid as fuck in Houston, like worse than Austin.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
it was pretty nice while I was there. Honestly, it was kind of chilly. It was the first couple of nights. It was kind of cold there, even though it was like 60 in the day, and then it was just windy as hell. But the last day we were there, it was beautiful. I got to see Kill Tony live at the Comedy Mothership. But it was fucking lit. But that was like also just dope to see like the community that they're building there in Austin around comedy, and we met a few comedians out and about too, and it was just like from start to finish an incredible experience. Like they have the Kill Tony band that performs before the show. And they put on some psychedelic masterpiece of a performance before it all started, and I was just like, what? It was just dope. Like it's a curation, like how like you have your community that you have, like it's something that you're hosting, so you're curating like a vibe and experience that people have. So I thought it was just dope.
Yeah, it is dope. I mean, my ex was a comedian, and so towards the end of our relationship, that was all we were watching was Kill Tony. So that's why I laughed as hard as I did. Yeah, but Kill Tony's sick, and so is I assume I didn't see any of the band stuff, but at least like the show itself is just a really cool environment from what I've seen online. So
right, even then I've thought about, should I do like a version of Kill Tony where it's like music acts, and
that's a good idea, honestly.
I feel like it would be fun. I just don't want to completely rip it off, but it's like, you know, it's a whole different, you know, sector of entertainment, you know.
And just, it's almost like a battle of the bands. You can just reframe it that way.
But yeah, and framed as like a live podcast type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Just be like,
Cool. I mean, I've
judging
hosted an
people.
open mic before, you know, so might as well just like record it and fucking get some good content out of it, interviews and shit. Like, he doesn't own the fucking idea of like live podcasting, but you know,
and just have a
it's
panel
just
of people
yeah.
who can judge the musicians
And special guests and shit.
Yeah.
Could be like a different version of the podcast that we have now. I don't know, but I just thought like I'm a host at heart too. Like I love having people and around and like making sure they're comfortable and just making sure that we all have a good time. And then yeah, that's why I just love hosting. It's like whether it's an event or a podcast or anything, I just want to be involved and like connect with everybody there.
Mm-hmm. Totally makes sense, man. It's a good feeling.
It's important, yeah, and that's I feel like one thing that I've really been missing the last like few years, especially since COVID. You know.
Yeah.
It's been just a trip ever since then, honestly.
Yeah, man. And I always like to see, like you told me a little bit before, but I feel like everybody has like a weird COVID story. Yeah, like everybody was like doing something interesting.
Right, you definitely remember
at that
where
time.
you were at.
Yeah, for sure. I was still in high school. I was graduating high school. But I went to a sober high school. So imagine just like going to school with a bunch of kids who are recovering from all different kinds of drugs or toxic behaviors. And then you go in like right before spring break and they're like, hey, everybody, make sure you hug everyone because some of the kids might overdose on the way on spring break. By the way, there's also a pandemic in China happening, and then you just never come back.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild story.
Yeah. And then my graduation ceremony was like in front of the church, and they made us all like 6 feet apart from each other, and we had to like walk into the middle of the circle to get our diploma and then walk back out. It was very
interesting. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like it's just cool to hear like everybody's different COVID stories, because we're all like, it was such a weird freaking time to be alive.
Yeah, that's what honestly when I doubled down though on my music and the brand, like the concept of the brand Endless Enjoyment was like created during that time, like just alone in my parents' basement and just like cooking up music. I was working on a lot of my old sad boy shit. Like my music has evolved so much since then, or like when I first started, like it was just super emotional and inspired by, you know, heartbreak and shit, and then slowly started moving more towards like telling the story of my life, and then like embracing like recently the more like pop stuff, just like fun, having fun, and life is dope, and like manifesting the life of my wildest dreams and just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Life is hype, and just carrying that like mantra.
Was it more like XXX Lil Peep inspired in the beginning?
I would say it was never like that aggressive as like XXX was. It's definitely more like Juice WRLD, some Peep for sure. I'm a huge Peep fan. I got the Crybaby tat right here too.
Sick. I have this for Star Shopping.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And I have the GBC right there on my leg too as well. Goth Boy Click, baby.
Sick.
And then, but yeah, super like that was like when I started making music too. Juice WRLD was blowing up. Like I followed him on SoundCloud and just watched the rise. And like, he was my favorite artist. I got to see him live once too in college, and just like devastated me when he passed away.
Damn, man, I'm sorry.
You know, we've lost so many legends over the years, but to me, like that was like my favorite artist at that time, which just fucking sucked. But it's huge inspiration on like me starting to like make my own music. And then yeah, like Pete, MGK. I'm a big MGK guy. I know a lot of people are iffy on that subject.
Do you know Carousel?
No.
Oh, it's an old MGK song. But that's like one of my favorite, like from his rap era. It's like about a couple that are both addicts, and then one of like the guy goes off into the army, and then the girl, like, it's dark as fuck, but basically she like gets pregnant with his baby, like the guy who went away,
Yeah.
and then like ODs, and then the guy comes back from military duty and like finds her and then like kills himself. It's
With
really
the baby,
dark.
she was pregnant with the baby still when she when she died.
Yeah, it's just a story that MGK did. Yeah, but it's really beautiful. It's like very well written.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, man, check out. I'm pretty sure it's called Carousel.
I've been bumping a few old MGK songs. Like this one, Almost, and then another one, Blue Skies. Like those are two pretty good old MGK songs. And he dropped a new song today too. Mm-hmm. Like in tribute of his friend Dingo.
Aww.
And it's like a dope, like he's spitting bars in the verses, but like it's like a punk rock chorus. Like it's
shit, very Linkin Park then, huh?
Kind of lit. Honestly, I fuck with it heavy. I mean, I love like the rock MGK stuff. Tickets to My Downfall was huge during like the pandemic 2020 vibes.
Yep.
I became a big fan, honestly, like up until like a few months up until that project came up in 2020, and then been a fan ever since. Seen it live a couple times. I think he's sick, but he's people point out he said some questionable things in the past, but it's like people can grow.
And as growing up an emo kid, there is the whole like he was a rapper and then now he invaded the emo scene and like insulted Slipknot, like he's still very talented, but it's just like, as an emo kid, you just don't insult Slipknot. That's like one of the biggest heavy metal rock bands ever.
Yeah, you can't relate. Don't listen to the Slipknot.
No, yeah, but I grew up like in mosh pits, like fighting grown ass men. So like I understand that scene way more than I did hip hop. I didn't really get into hip hop till I was in my like 18, 19 to present. Yeah. So
I just grew up on hip hop and really didn't branch out from there until more recently, like with college and stuff, and then moving here. But yeah, speaking of like what you grew up on, like who are some of your biggest musical influences?
So it varies by genre, but like Mary J. Blige, Sam Smith, little bit of Christina Aguilera and Adele are like the R&B influences. And then on the rock side, In This Moment is a female-fronted metal band, and I love her. She taught me how to be a woman. Nothing More, lead singer, actually lives here in Nashville. I got to see him at Emo Night a couple weeks ago. It was sick. Highly Suspect, another more stoner rock. You might really enjoy them. And then Bad Flower as well. So those are like the people that I grew up on and I love very, very dearly. And then as I got older, I fell in love with hip hop as a producer, and EDM as well. From that standpoint, so Adventure Club is a great DJ that does EDM. I really like them. And then I like, obviously, Kendrick, big Megan Thee Stallion fan, have to, from Houston, It's a funny side joke. I have a friend here who's from Memphis, and so we say that we're Megan Glow because Glorilla's from Memphis, Megan's from Houston. Yeah.
I love how Glorilla says music. She's like the music. The music. I can't.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah, but she's sick as fuck though. And yeah, I mean, those are really like the core people. But I've been going to shows since I was like 7. So in Houston they have a rodeo that happens every year, and it's at where the Texans play, that big ass stadium, and so they have different concerts every single night of the week for 3 weeks, and they're pretty big acts like Jason Aldean, Chris Stapleton. I got to see Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber in the same night. I'm pretty sure that's how they met. like back in the 2000s. So that's where like I saw a lot of my first shows was the Houston Rodeo. But I've been to every single venue in Houston, and I've moshed several times at House of Blues. It's my favorite venue in Houston. Yeah, I've been like 15 feet away from Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy. Seen Panic at the Disco like 3 times. Like, but just very. Oh, I guess Panic's a huge one for me too. Panic and Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance, the true emo bands. Yeah, but yeah, I was just a huge emo kid growing up. And my older cousin who passed away, she was also like that. Like, that's how I got into it. So, like, she went to Warped Tour and, like, was moshing and had Asking Alexandria posters and Pierce the Veil, like, all over her bedroom. And so I kind of followed her lead into the whole emo world. It was pretty sick.
Now look at you.
I know. Now I headbang in a ball gown on stage. And you know, it's pretty sick. I mean, my music isn't moshable yet. I think that'd be sick as fuck. But I still love, like, getting into pits. Like, it was fun going to emo night in Nashville because my friend who came with me, she was like, I've never been in a pit. And I was like, girly pop, just imagine all of these men are your ex-boyfriend. And she was like, I'm kind of scared to, like, just start kicking and punching, like, these other men. I'm like, girly pop, hold my phone. And I just, like, went in there and just, like...
You just started laying the smack down.
Yeah, just, like, fighting all these dudes, you know? And that's part of the thing. And, like, in emo pits, it's like if anybody falls down, or especially if a girl falls down, like, everybody knows you gotta stop. Yeah. You know? And you gotta pick up the girl, like, make sure everybody's good, you know? And then you just start going again, you know? And you got to make sure you're wearing Doc Martens or steel-toed boots because somebody's going to step on your feet. It's just, like, part of the deal. But I guess Juice was one for you.
Yeah, definitely starring to me. Music, like, growing up, was like Lil Wayne was a huge inspiration. Big Drake guy, honestly.
It's okay. We can be on opposite sides and still love each other.
I do like Kendrick, just not as much as Drake.
Yeah.
It's one of the best pop artists of all time. But
that is a valid take.
Wiz Khalifa, also a huge one. I think he's, like, might be number one, honestly. Tied with Wayne. Him and Wayne together, like, my 2 favorites. Because, like, I mean, Wayne had his run from, like, 2005 to, like, 2011. I think between the Carter 2 and Carter 4, like, that time period, like, honestly, like, no ever rapper that could be as good as Lil Wayne during that time. And he claimed it. He said one of the songs on Carter 2 is, you know, best rapper alive. And he just embraced it. And he was, like, just hopping on every track, every feature, pop song, whatever it was. He was everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then that's why to me, like, him and Wiz are so much, like, above everybody else, is because the amount of mixtapes they put out in that time as well that are just as high quality as the albums. It's like no other artists really have done that, I feel like. That's
valid as fuck. Like, they were hella productive and they also had bomb-ass shit. So, makes sense.
Yeah, so people are always like quality, quantity, or it's like it has to be one or the other, but nah, they were putting out quantity of quality as well. That's what I fucking love about both of those artists. And Kid Cudi's a huge one. Inspiration, like, especially like high school, college, when I was just like really struggling emotionally. It's always got me through any tough time. All the Man on the Moon albums. Anytime I listen to those in a bad spot or whatever, it's like you start it, you go deep into the emotions and feel like everything out, and then by the end of it, you come out feeling better. Just by the last song, you're like, damn, I can take this fucking world by the balls. This is my world.
Yeah. Acid rap was a huge inspiration during my addict teen years. So I bumped Chance up until maybe, is it Coloring Book?
Coloring Book was great though.
Yeah.
That was a great era. I mean, Acid Rap obviously very great too. But then he had the 10-day mixtape before that too, which was definitely an inspiration for me starting to rap because I got suspended for 10 days in high school as well. And that's when I literally was like starting to like probably write some bars. Like it was probably not for another year in 2018 till I started really like making songs in college, like working with my friends that were producing beats and stuff. But that was definitely like, I've honestly always been rapping. Since I was like 7 years old, I've been writing songs and fucking around and like just making shit for fun. But I didn't take it seriously till I was in college. But yeah, I got suspended from school for 10 days in high school. And that's a great story. You should watch the podcast episode with me and my sister Allie on it. And you'll hear the whole story about that. That was classic. But yeah.
I mean, I was suspended for more than 10 days. I had somebody plant LSD in my backpack when I was like 14.
Yeah, that's
so
not a good look.
Yeah, it was an ex of mine. And yeah, so I had to like go on probation and like do alternative school and the whole shit. So I also understand the feeling of being suspended.
I was just at
from
home
school.
smoking weed. My dad was like asking the principal, was like, "Can we make this like shorter, like 8 days, something like this kid needs to be in school?" And they're like, "Nope, sorry, it's policy." And my only one question was, "Does this affect me getting into college?" And they said, "No." And I said, "Okay, see you in 10 days."
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But then I was definitely just writing some bars while I was home and shit.
I was probably producing some beats or doing something, but all of my high school years are very much a blur.
Were you writing back then? You started making beats that long ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've been writing music, like lyrics, since I was 11. I'm about to be 23. And then I've been producing since I was 14. So, but just samples, you know, just
Right.
sample stuff. And then like recording in my closet, you know. I basically asked my parents, I was like, shit, I can't get a job. I'm 13, you know, so can I clean the house for $25 a week? And saved up and bought my audio equipment and like a mic and audio interface, XLR cables, the whole shit, put quilts in my closet.
Just getting after it.
Yeah, man. And made some really shitty demos that are now deleted from SoundCloud. But yeah, that was like my whole thing. And then my addiction kind of took over. And then I OD'd in 2021, and my grandmother was like, hey, do you want to like get back into music?
And you're like, what?
And I was like, wait, I spent thousands of dollars on cocaine and I could have put this all to studio time? And that's what saved my life. And so she paid for a couple hours of studio time. That's probably how I got the internship. I got it at the same studio. But yeah, I paid for like my first EP to get recorded, and then
shout out
been
grandma.
that way ever since. Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. She loves it. She helps me get all the outfits for the project.
That's sweet.
Yeah, she says that she's my angel, so it's just really sweet of her. She really believes in everything that I can do. Especially because I've stayed consistent in my sobriety, so it's like she doesn't see it as a waste, you know, because I haven't like gone back.
Made questionable decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And I lived with her when I was like using and stuff, so like it's just kind of, she's just really proud of who I've become now versus who I was like 4 years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So a lot of crazy things that have happened. So where does like the new era of like your music start at? Like,
what do you mean? Like the new era?
Like as you said, like there's like old demos from when you were like a teenager that you were making, and then you started like I don't know, like, did you have like a rebrand into like the newer stuff that you're doing, and it's a point where like you got back into the studio and you're making stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I didn't really have a true brand identity when I first got back into the studio. I think I learned that through like social media marketing and management and understanding the industry a little bit more. But this project for sure has like a true identity behind it, like the Trauma Queen one. Beforehand, it was just kind of me and sharing my life experiences. And I mean, I still am with this Trauma Queen project, but it's definitely branded a lot better than my other stuff. Because even with my other stuff, I was like finding visuals that were copyright free and like putting little music videos together that didn't even have my face in it. Like, it was just kind of what I thought looked cool because I didn't have the budget for it. But now that I own my own media company and I do content trades with other artists here in town, they'll give me 4 hours of their time. We'll shoot my one song for my project, and then they need me to come to a show and shoot their show, or they have content for a single they're coming out with, and then I spend my time for free going and shooting and editing that for them. So it's another way that I uplift other artists here in town, as well as getting some kind of benefit for my music. You know, it's just very collaborative community here that we have in Nashville.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's why I have to keep conversations like this happening. I'm glad we got to sit down and get to know each other a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Me too, man.
And yeah, one last question before we go. Just like, what are your goals moving forward, like this year specifically?
Well, release the other 18 songs.
Are they all written at this point? Or are you just recording them? Or are you?
18 of them are produced. 24 of them are written. About 15 more of the visuals need to be shot. So it's about 2. My goal is to have everything done by October. So it's 2 content shoots a month and 1 recording session for 2 songs a month. Yeah, so it's still rocking and rolling, but that's my number one thing. And then hopefully trying to do more shows. So my next show is April 3rd at the Vinyl Lounge. Y'all better come out. If you come, you get 10% off any future content services with me.
Ayo.
Yeah, and just like uplifting more artists. I might do more showcases like this for women who create media, but I'm not performing. I'm just showcasing other talent and giving people discounts on content services if they buy tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, next year it'll be just promotion via like Facebook ads and playlisting services and stuff like that to get more streams on the project. But that's kind of where my goals are for right now, man.
Hell yeah. You're locked in. You're just grinding. You're in the thick of it.
Yeah, man. It's just never going to stop, you know. But that's how it is as an independent artist.
Right. You just got to fall in love with it and enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and enjoy, you know, helping other people through the message. Right.
And connecting people, staying connected with those people, and, you know, making more connections.
Yeah, and sending people tiaras.
Shout out.
Shout out Annie. Yeah.
Let's go. So when's the next song dropping?
Friday. And then it'll be 2 weeks from Friday until the end of the year.
Cool. So yeah, I do have one more episode that's coming out before this one. So that song will already be out by the time this episode's out. So
yeah,
tell them go stream that shit.
You can stream my favorite person on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all the services that DistroKid allows music to be on. So
it will be linked below. Check that shit out.
Thank you guys for letting me come talk to you guys about mental health.
Appreciate you coming on the Endless Enjoyment podcast.
Yep.
It's episode 73 with Lillian Grace.
72.
I'm Vincenzo, 72. Yeah. Let's go. Much love, y'all. Enjoy.
Bye.